so it didn't infringe on the rights of the people nor interfere with the states, which had their own constitutions. The Constitution gives the federal government some of their original power, but most of it remains with the states. There were a variety of problems with the individual states, including lack of unity. The federal government served to unify, but with limited power, so it could not usurp the states' power. The federal government serves the states, not the other way around. But it is incumbent upon the states to make sure the federal government stays within its enumerated powers. The states are to make sure the Constitution is followed. It seems as if things are flipped around today. It is the states that have most of the power, but the federal government is not checked as it should be. If more people understood this, would we have the overgrown federal bureaucracy that we have today? I dare say that Benjamin Franklin would be disappointed. There appears to be too many today that do not know what we have, or what we are, or what our rights and duties are, and this puts our liberties at risk. The importance of American citizens learning about the Constitution cannot be overstated. George Washington wrote to John Augustine Washington on May 31, 1776. A constitution founded on these principles introduces knowledge among the people and inspires them with a conscious dignity becoming free men. A general emulation takes place, which causes good humor, sociability, good manners, and good morals to be general. That elevation of sentiment inspired by such a government makes the common people brave and enterprising. That ambition, which is inspired by it, makes them sober, industrious, and frugal. After hearing those words of Washington's, wouldn't anyone be inspired to want to learn all about this great document, the Constitution? Studying and understanding the Constitution for its original intent is crucial if we want to keep our liberties. It is of paramount importance to teach our youth and the all too many adults who seem to be derelict in their knowledge of this great document, even some of our congressmen, it would seem. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to keep our representatives and the president honest and the government from becoming tyrannical. A people knowledgeable about what we have, who we are, and what our rights and duties are necessary for the success of this republic. And that is your constitutional moment.
All right, we are back, and we want to say welcome back to Right Opinions on Spreaker. Now, we need to tell you what our promos are for our network shows. Sunday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, join John, George, and Mark for Patriots on Wheels. That's POW. On Monday evening, join Glow and Adrienne, the Sisters for Freedom, from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All these are Eastern Time I'm giving you, so you need to check your time zones. Tuesday evenings, join Liberty to Go with Dawn and Brandon at 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday nights, John Matthews with the Conservative Syndicate is on from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday evenings, listen to Homefront with Cynthia Davis from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Friday nights, we feature two shows. Dr. Robert Cardoso Live from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And then later, from 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern, you will enjoy Hard Drive with Suzanne Posel. All right, well, welcome back to Right Opinions on Spreaker with Roland, Mary, Mona, Teresa, and I'm Marcia. So now we're into our segment where we hear you, where we're listening to the comments that you have made about the news, of what's going on in the world. And so we discuss the things that we have heard you talking about. And among those are the Clinton money and local terrorists in America, and then we're talking also about gang members receiving amnesty. So we have a gamut that we're going to be discussing this time, and we're going to be starting off with Rollin.
Well, one of the things I want to get out there is this Clinton Cash book is going to be totally reviewed tomorrow evening on the Brett Bear Show at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll really get a feel, I'm sure, of what has been going on with the Clintons over the years. And as it was mentioned earlier, we have two newspapers, and two of which are liberal newspapers that are reporting this big time. This is a big deal when it comes to Clintons, and I think will hurt her. She'll get her 30% vote, but there's so much going wrong with her and things coming out about all the wrong things that they've done. Now, one of the things that just hit me right in the face was that she did a deal, according to this book. Now, we're going to find out more about it, and I'm sure she did do it, but it enabled Russia to get 20% of our uranium. And these are things that are just unspeakable that she has done, her and her husband have done in the past. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and now you don't get those from governments and companies unless you do something for them, because people just aren't that charitable. But this was brought out too earlier. Christian Powers, who is a Democrat who's on Fox and also writes articles. She wrote an article about condemning the Clintons for what they've been doing in terms of receiving money for gratuities. And believe me, they are. They can lie about it all they want to, but common sense tells you that people don't get millions of dollars without doing something for it. And what it is doing things that are pretty well close to illegal, if not completely illegal. They're immoral. And so I want to repeat that one thing, because the more we learn about this, the better we can talk to our neighbors about it intelligently. It's Brett Bear. He's on Fox News at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's going to be talking about Clinton's Cash, the book by Peter Schweitzer. And he's really, this is really dynamite stuff. So please listen to it if you will, listeners. And I have a list here. Who comes next?
Teresa does.
Teresa. Yeah, I got. You know why I couldn't see it is because I got the big T with a circle around it, Teresa.
Yeah, it just amazes me that Hillary Clinton is even a consideration for president when you look at all of their history and the criminal things, in my opinion, that they have been involved with. For 3 years in a row, and it started in 2010, the Clinton Foundation reported to the IRS that it got no money from foreign and U.S. governments. A total lie. Several foreign governments donated tens of millions of dollars to the foundation. And, Bill Clinton gets millions of dollars speaking. And you know that while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, his fees for the money he was paid for speaking doubled. You tell me there wasn't some reason why. And that Uranium One, that's the company that you're referring to, Roland, in the book. And I did a little bit of research on it, and it was Bill Clinton and some Canadian mining industry leaders, they built and financed this company, and then they sold it to Russia, and it affected, like you said, 20% of our uranium. One of them is a 35,000-acre ranch owned by a John Christensen in near Gillette, Wyoming. Well, now Russia has the mining rights to his property. The sale gave them like 1/5 of the uranium produced in the United States. And what makes it bad is, because it involved uranium, there had to be approval from several different government agencies. And isn't it ironic that one of the ones that signed off on it and approved it was Secretary of State Hillary Clinton? $2.35 million have been donated to the Clinton Foundation by foreign governments. It's just mind-boggling to me. I don't see how people even consider her for her dishonesty and all the things that they've been involved with. It just, like you said, that people have a short memory and they forget about it. You know, and I want to flip to the illegal immigrants that were granted amnesty on the deferred action for childhood arrivals. Out of 2,059 criminals arrested, 23 were beneficiaries of that amnesty. That number doesn't sound so bad by itself, but then when you go to look at the other immigrants that have been granted amnesty and the recommitting rates of crime, it's mind-boggling. And then you get to the ICE-released illegals, and oh my gosh, 9,187 drug convictions, 303 kidnapping convictions, 193 homicide convictions, and these are all convictions. We're bringing these people over here and they're coming, we're letting them stay, and they're committing crime after crime after crime, and we'll let all these illegals, I say, kick them out, and let's go rescue them Christians and bring them over here. I'd much prefer to allow them into our communities than the others. And, well, that's about all I have on that. How about you, Mary?
Well, I want to add to the part you brought about the people are bringing in. The news this week was there's 21 gang members. They're known gang members for drugs, murder, etc., that they knew that they went ahead and brought in on this campaign. And one of them this week was arrested for not one, but 4 murders. And he was the head of a gang in his country, Mexico, and they knew that when they not only bring these people in, they airlift them in. They take our tax money to airlift them in. And then you know what comes next. The shelter, the food, everything. They've given everything so that they can stay here and continue promoting their gangs here. But I want to go back to the Clinton cash a little bit. This Mr. Schweitzer that wrote it, I don't know if you realize it, but the day when it's being released is the same day that ex-President Bill Clinton and his daughter Chelsea are hosting the Clinton Global Initiative with donors in Morocco. Now, I think that's funny if you want to know the truth, but they're already attacking Mr. Schweitzer with, they've got a whole dossier. The liberal left have a dossier on him because he was with Breitbart. Anyway, so they've got this because they're already going to attack him. And some of the things that are coming out that they've already released, and this one just boggles the mind. How can anybody get money donated to them? Okay, one of them was developmental projects after a devastating earthquake hit Haiti in 2010, and they lapped up money from that. The second one was a free trade agreement between U.S. and Colombia that was finalized during Clinton's time at the State Department, and it also benefited one of the Clinton foundations. And another one that they already know that he's talking about is a Canadian bank and top shareholder gave Bill Clinton $1 million in speaking fees over the debate over the pipeline. You know, when you make $130-some million to your foundations, which you know doesn't just go to the Clinton Library, whatever, it goes in their pockets. And then we have Chelsea coming out and saying, but our foundations